So when I'm designing or planning these trails, I start with a large photograph of the earth. I can put property lines on that, I can put contour lines. Then I sketch what I think is going to be the best alignment for the trail. And I may have gone out there and looked at the terrain, I may have looked at a great view or a cool tree or a cool rock, and then I'm trying to link these anchor points together. So if we're designing in the dells, we have a lot of views, we have great rocks, we have cool little features that we want to have people see. When we're working on state trust land, it's chaparral. We may have some great views, we may have some great juniper trees that we want to go past. So there's a lot of work up front to try and get these cool areas to all join together. After that, we look at the boundaries and houses, and we try and stay away from houses. We try and stay as far away from boundaries as we can, but sometimes you have to go by them, and that's just the way it is. So when we're designing these trails, we have additional costs. We have a natural plant survey and an archaeological review, and that's specifically to state trust land. Other than that, I'm really focusing on the design of the trail. I put an alignment on there, and when I'm putting on the alignment, I'm trying to what I call trail terracing. I have steep areas, but then I'll have an area that flattens out for a while, and then a steeper area again. So that's part of the mix. The reason for this is to make the trail as fun physically as it can be. So we got people hiking or running or biking up there. So I'm trying to link all these interesting areas, but also have a fun experience physically. When we're talking about design, we're talking on a macro and micro level. On a macro level, talking about trying to have the trail be as physically as fun as it can be. So we don't want an average grade, consistent, going all the way up the hill, just a strenuous thing. We want people to stop and take a look at the view, and even if they don't stop and just keep hiking, they can still get a break, and then I pitch it up again. On a micro level, I really want to think about flow and also how to drain the trail. We don't want to have water with any volume or speed running down the trail for any length of time. So the trail's always going up and down to evacuate the water off the trail. These are natural surface trails, so they will erode, and everyone's seen examples of really bad design where the trail has been put in and then it's a ditch after a couple of years, and we don't want to do that maintenance. So after that, I think about what trail users want. Hikers are looking for a view. Mountain bikers are looking at more of the fun factor, but we also need to look at sight lines and trying to slow them down in certain places. Runners are similar to mountain bikers, but they don't want tight, twisty, it's kind of hard to run. So they want flow as well, but they want straight line, more straight line trails. Horseback riders, they like the views, but if there is a water source somewhere that I can take them to, that's what they want. So we're also looking at trying to keep the canopy down so they're a lot higher. So there's a lot of things that individual trail users, I think, desire. So I'm trying to get those in there. We're heading up onto the reroute of the Boy Scout and the Turley. This one's going to be called the Badger Mountain Extension, and pretty brutal terrain up there, a lot of oak, real thick in places, especially on the north facing slope. So we're going to do some bushwhacking and do some flagging, and we've got the GPS. We're going to try and follow the GPS line that we've sketched on there on topo maps, trying to give a good percent of grade. This portion here should be relatively flat, but we just got a lot of side slope we're going to have to deal with. See, this is the line here that I put on the map to just try and stay on contour but dropping 5 to 8% grade. Right here I left it pretty flat because it's so steep and technical in places. Now this is what I've done already as far as GPSing, then I've come up from the bottom and I just kind of try and connect the bit in the middle. So hopefully we can get that done today.
I'm Isaiah. We're the Prescott Fire Department fuels crew. I'm the lead technician. Today we're going to be cutting the trail for Turley in the Prescott Basin area. And the process that we use is one sawyer, one swamper. We have saw teams, and one man will be on the saw, and one man will be actually grabbing the brush and pulling the brush out as we're cutting. Everything we do, we prioritize safety. Safety is the top priority here for that. Right now we're working with two saw teams, so what we're doing is we're doing a skip pattern. One team will jump ahead, the other team will lead up, and then we'll also skip ahead at that point. So that's how we're doing it on the trail right now.
So the cat track is what I hit first. I'm trying to create a bench. I'm keeping the machine as level as possible. I'm moving big obstacles, big roots, big rocks, but I'm creating a bench. I'm trying to have the bench go up and down on the micro level to create drainage. And I'm ripping out big roots and big rocks. Sometimes I'm trying to harvest material to get across a ravine or fill a hole, so I may go back a bit and drag a bunch of material forward, try and get across tough areas. So after I've constructed the trail with the trail dozer, then I come in with the mini excavator or mini track hoe and do the detail work, ripping out any bushes that I think that are going to encroach upon the trail, shaping the back slope at a 45 degrees, knocking any rocks that did tumble down out of the way, also taking the berm off the bottom edge of the trail, allowing the water to pass over the trail. So with the mini excavator, I'm taking the berm off the bottom edge of the trail, I'm narrowing up the trail, I'm trying to smooth out the trail, I'm taking the back slope out and taking all the bushes away, placing rocks, hopefully pretty side up with a moss, just doing all the detail work, making it as easy as possible for when we do have the hand crews and the over the hill gang come in to finish up the trail and rake it and make it as smooth as possible. So in Prescott, we're really fortunate to have a lot of community involvement with trails, a lot of trail days, and namely the Over the Hill Gang does the lion's share of the trail maintenance around town. But we also have other groups, you know, the mountain bike club, the hiking clubs, the horsemen come out, you know, and help out with trail days too. So, you know, we get a lot of help, and we wouldn't really be tackling a lot of this stuff unless we had the help. The Over the Hill gang comes out, you know, 1, 2, or 3 times a week, and you know, we work for 3 hours, and we're basically smoothing the trails behind the machines on this trail. So there may be some rocks left over, there may be roots, there may be a berm on the bottom edge that needs to be taken out. There may be some drainage that's coming across the trail that we may need to rock armor. But overall, it's just smoothing the trail, filling in the holes, taking the high spots off, and making it as smooth an experience as possible. So we have people of all ages out there. You know, we have the racing kids on mountain bikes come out and help out. And then we have the Over the Hill gang, and I think our oldest member is 83 years old, who comes out and works on trails. So it's really for everyone. We have we have lots of different tools. So we have the McLeod that really does the medium duty stuff. We have the pick that'll take out rocks and roots, and the Pulaski to cut away the roots. And then I like to finish up with the rake, a rock rake, and you can really smooth out the trail and fill in the holes and take off the high spots. And then one of the favorite parts of the day is walking out, you know, seeing what you've done, and it's a real sense of accomplishment, you know. And you know, talking with the volunteers afterwards, and what they did, and what were the before and after, you know, to see what it looked like before and then what it looks like after, and then maybe you'll have someone come through on a bike or hiking and thank the guys, you know. So that's the highlights of my day.